Miss Henrik's video demo. Today I'm going to show you how to make linguine with a walnut arugula pesto. So let's look at our mise en place. For the pasta, you're going to need semolina and flour. A high gluten flour is best, but regular flour, all-purpose flour is just fine. Also, you're going to need some egg yolks and just a little bit of water. For the pesto, you need a clove of garlic, some walnuts, some good olive oil, arugula, and then Parmesan cheese. Salt, of course, and pepper if you desire. So start by measuring out your ingredients, and we're going to separate 2 eggs. So please use this system. Whenever you have more than 1 egg that you need to separate, you need 1 bowl to check that your egg is okay, that there's no shells, that there's no contamination from your yolk into the whites, then a separate bowl for yolks and a separate bowl for whites. Okay, so crack your egg. Oops, see, I already got a shell. Let's pass the yolk back and forth until your whites have all fallen away. Put the yolks into 1 bowl, and then let me scoop that shell out with the other shell. Good. And we'll save the egg whites again. So bring those to me and continue with the next egg. Now set up your stand mixer with the paddle attachment. You're going to add your cup of semolina flour and cup of regular flour. And the 2 egg yolks. And we'll just slowly mix this. And as for your water, you're just going to sprinkle in a little bit of water. The idea is you want to mix this, just a tiny bit of water until it looks like wet sand. So I'll show you what that looks like. But just slowly add in a little bit. Let it mix until we get the right texture. Alright, so just a little bit of flour on your surface just so that it's not super sticky. And you want to knead this dough maybe about 5 minutes until it all comes together and it's no longer a grainy texture but a smooth texture. And so now wrap this ball of dough because it needs to rest about 20 minutes. If we're cooking this right away, 20 minutes just on the counter. If we're doing it the next day, this should go into the refrigerator. Alright, so while I wait for my dough to rest, I am going to make my sauce, my pesto sauce. And I'm going to roughly chop a 1/2 cup of walnuts, and I'm going to toast them because toasting them will give them a little extra flavor. So here we go, just a rough chop. It does not have to be super precise. And I will just put this on a ungreased baking sheet. And all it needs is 5 minutes at a 325-degree oven for them to toast. I also want to get a 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. So I'm just going to take a block, maybe about this big. Use my box. You're going to use your box graters. I'll just use this regular grater with the largest circle hole that the box grater has available. And I'm just going to grate this piece of Parmesan cheese carefully without getting my fingers grated until I end up with a half of a cup of grated Parmesan. I'll cut the garlic clove, so this is just 1 clove. This is as much as you need. And what I like to do is just cut off both ends. Push that to the side. And an easy way to get this skin off, especially when it's a little difficult to get off, is crush the garlic with the side of your knife, and then it just falls right off. And then you're going to just chop that up. Doesn't have to be super fine because you are going to process that, just a rough chop. Set that to the side. And then you're ready to put all those ingredients into your food processor or your food blender. Okay. So we'll start here with our toasted walnuts. That goes in. Our garlic. Lost one. The shredded Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan cheese, and then 2 cups of arugula. So you can kind of just estimate how much. There's 1 cup into the food processor. Wait. 1 more cup. And then salt to taste. So I'm going to just start small, maybe just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And if I taste it and I think it needs more, I can just add some more later. Okay, all you have to do is blend those ingredients together. Now your food processors look a little different than mine. Yours are a little taller, but it still has a spout at the top. You can see there. In that spout, you're just going to gently pour in the olive oil while you pulse. Okay, you can see a little bit. And then do that until you have like a pesto sauce. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to use this new fun tool. In this box is a pasta maker. So there's a couple different pieces. I'll take the biggest piece out first. Okay. And here we go. All right. So we'll take this little screw attachment thing and this large piece here. Get it up close to the edge of your counter, and you're going to see this little square hole here at the bottom. That has to be facing out. And you're going to take your clamp, put this piece into that little square hole, and then twist this screw until it will attach. Alright, so let's just screw that bottom part up until your pasta maker and the clamp, it doesn't move around on the counter anymore. So that's nice and tight. Won't move around. And we're just going to start with this part right now. This is like the crank, and it will go into the upper circular hole there. All right, so now we take our dough either out of the fridge, and we're going to cut it into different pieces. My bench scraper cut it into 4ths. It's just like a little bit sticky, so I'm going to have some flour on hand. Just sprinkle a little flour on your hands, a little bit onto the dough, and take your small piece, your quarter of the dough, over to the pasta machine, pasta maker, and we're going to run it through. There's some little gears there. And we're going to try to set this at a very large setting to start with. So here up on the side, you can make your pasta however thin or large you want. So we want to start with our largest setting as possible to get this going. Okay. And it will take a couple times for it to get thin enough. So I'd say at least 2 times through that first setting. And it's kind of a little weird shaped, so I'm just going to fold it back over on itself. And then I'm going to go down to a smaller setting. Okay. And let this go through again 2 times. Alright, so I have rolled this dough about 8 to 10 times, maybe 8 times, 2 times per setting, and I've gone down 4. So I have this long sheet of very thin pasta. I'm going to put that to the side, and you're going to take this attachment, and this slides attachment, and I will slide it on right here. I actually need to take the handle off and put it into the new attachment piece. So I'm going to do the linguine, which is the wide noodle. There's also a spaghetti size that I could do, but I'm going for the linguine. And you just take your noodle sheet. Alright, and here are your lovely linguine noodles. Now, to prevent these from sticking, you need to sprinkle a lot of flour on them, preferably before they go through the machine. And after, you toss them in a little bit of flour, like so. And you'll want to get a big pot of water boiling. Now, you're gonna eyeball how much salt, but I've heard that it should be as salty as the Mediterranean Sea. So about maybe 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, and this is what we will cook our pasta in. My water is boiling, and I just take my pasta. It's gonna cook very quickly. So once the pasta is in, it's really only 90 seconds because this is fresh pasta. So 90 seconds. Okay, and 90 seconds later, you want to pour your pasta out into a colander in the sink. And then you can put it right back into that hot pot and back onto the stove, onto a not hot surface. Add a tablespoon of butter. Throw that around with tongs, and then you're going to take your sauce, pesto sauce, as much as you desire.
I think it is.
And plate it up, and I like to put a little extra Parmesan cheese. Okay. And voila. Well, I hope you learned a lot from this video demo. Good luck tomorrow. Thanks for watching.